I'm here today with Graham Fulford, who has started a charity which has helped many thousands of people. Tell me, Graham, when did you start doing home testing kits?
We looked at doing it 2 years ago, and to be fair, it needed the online booking system, because the online booking system is a personal account.
Okay.
Having launched a new system very successfully in January and got a few teething problems out of the way by March, COVID came along, stopped us in our tracks, but we did use that breathing space given to us to launch home testing kits, which we'd been passionate about for a couple of years, because we realised that every event there are men that can't make it, or they miss it, or they're ill on the day, or take the dog to the vets the last minute, whatever. So those men can now have a test, the comfort of their own homes, 365 days a year, and they can order it 24/7. So we see that as a fantastic opportunity for 2021 and hit our target of 1,000 tests a week.
But you always felt that home testing was something you'd migrate towards?
Yes, as a backup, because we receive an awful lot of telephone calls from some quite upset men, distraught they were on holiday when this year's event in Weybridge was held, because it was a different weekend to last year and they didn't think they'd miss it, and they did. And of course I'd have to wait 12 months or travel an awful long way. So what the home testing kits were always meant as a backup for events.
Would you say then that more and more people are receptive towards that?
I think they are. I think the world has moved online, so I think people will become more used to it. A, I think they'll have to, and B, I think they'll see some of the benefits of it. Where you only need a relatively small sample of blood, then it's a perfectly feasible way to do it.
So you're going to have more and more people taking part?
Absolutely, because it's IT driven now, and the sky's the limit from that point of view. One of the problems we had when we were manually inputting everything is that we had a 7 to 10 day turnaround of results.
Okay.
We were struggling to hit that. Now it can be as quick as 48 hours. It depends how quickly the man sends the sample back.
Can you tell us about developing the IT system to make things a bit more smooth running?
Well, we were very lucky in that when we realised that we were struggling to input everything manually within a reasonable time span, we knew we had to make a change. And my nephew, who has a good background in the computer industry, introduced us to a company called Impressor in Norwich, who work with people like Mind and others, so are very much aware of what the charity sector needs. And they've helped us develop this system using these very sophisticated QR codes. They can get the results back from the lab electronically rather than having to be using paper within literally minutes of the results being available.
Why did you decide to work with the doctor's laboratory?
We were introduced to the doctor's laboratory about 5 or 6 years ago now by one of our clinicians who use them regularly, and most doctors across the UK, GPs and others, will use TDL at some point in the year. They are the biggest independent in the country, so we're delighted to be able to work with them. They're very supportive of the work we do.
So what kind of numbers are they dealing with?
Yes, they informed us that in May 2020, for example, they did 25,000 tests of various types, diabetes, cholesterol and other conditions, which were done via home testing kit, fingerprint type tests. That increased to 44,000
Really?
in June, the following month, which is an increase of nearly 100%.
Do you think home testing is here to stay?
Hopefully it is, yes. I think it's in everybody's benefits. It's certainly, we feel, in the men's interest to have that available, and the feedback we're getting is very good.
No, because of the COVID situation, we've been unable to organise any events this year, and the charity have actually come up with a home testing kit, which is dead simple to operate. I mean, I'm the absolute nonce when it comes to computers, but I managed to do it. Very simple login, register, and then you can get the kit sent to you. Simple blood test, and then it goes straight back into the post, and you'll have the results back within 48 hours. Very good service and very efficient.
Let's just run through the instructions. What to do when you get the box.
When the kit arrives, the first thing to do is to take the instructions out and read them very carefully. Just make sure you're in a nice warm room. Wash your hands in nice warm water. Make sure that you haven't been sat down too long, and probably carry out a few light exercises, like walking up the stairs or walking down the garden and back. It's also preferable that your hand is below the level of your heart. Fill the vial within 5 minutes. It's essential to make sure the blood is up to the second line. Pop the sample back to the lab as soon as you possibly can, preferably the next day. So therefore, it's probably best to avoid doing it on a Friday.
So the IT and the processes at the doctor's laboratory have come together nicely.
Yes, it has, but it also, as I mentioned before, working alongside events, it's almost also made the events work much more smoothly, much more quickly, because they're now in this unique system whereby each man that registers with us has his own personal PSA account, a bit like a bank account that you can visit any time. You can see all your PSA scores if you've had numerous tests with us before.
Well, Graham, thanks so much for that. And everything you need to know is all on the website.